The end of Bluey Season 3 definitely left us all wanting more. That's why the announcement of the new minisodes of the little blue dog made us so happy.
So beautiful.
But do you know what each one of them is about? Check out everything we know so far, including the titles of many of these minisodes. This is one of the first short episodes and it lasts 2 minutes. In this episode, Bandit pretends to have bought a brand new robot, and the little dog is that robot. The episode shows Daddy Healer picking up the package of the brand new robot he bought and is eager to test out. The funny part is that the Bingo 3000 he bought seems to be defective and her legs don't stay straight, only bent. So he looks for a contact number to call and complain to the company that made the defective little robot, since her legs won't stop lifting. The funny part is that he finds the number on his daughter's own butt. In the pretend call, Bandit is instructed to press a button on the robot girl's nose and wiggle it a lot, but that doesn't solve the problem either. After trying to move various parts of the robot and tickling Bingo 3000 multiple times, the leg lifting problem persists, and the pretend company tells Bandit that he needs to take Bingo 3000 back to the store for a refund. He then gives up on the refund and keeps the little robot, giving her a good shake to see if the parts go back in place, but the defect continues. So he throws her on the couch and runs away in despair. After this, we see the final scene where Chili finds a use for Bingo 3000, which is to bring magazines for her to read as soon as she finishes the last one. Because of the small defect with her bent legs that Bandit couldn't fix, she moves very slowly, so the next magazine will take a while.
This was a mistake!
This is the first minisode that was released in Australia first and later on Disney+. It lasts about 1.5 minutes. In this episode, the girls enter the living room while Bandit is lying down and relaxing on the couch, reading his good old newspaper. While Bandit just wanted to relax, his 2 daughters still had a lot of energy and asked him to play a song on his phone so they could dance. The name of the song is Burger Dog, which is a mix of hamburger and hot dog, but also a pun on a sandwich for dogs, since everyone in Bluey's world is a dog. They start dancing and having fun, and the song is really cool, but Bandit finds it very annoying and pretends his phone's battery died. This makes the girls indignant because they wanted to keep dancing. Bluey tries to take the phone away from her dad to show it's not out of battery. Meanwhile, Bingo has an idea and leaves, and soon we discover that she went to call her mom. Chili then calls Bandit's phone, exposing Daddy Healer in front of the girls and sarcastically asking if he was lying to his daughters again. Bandit's expression when he gets caught is priceless. I was really excited to see Bluey's short episodes. If you were too, comment below with #Mini.
Hey, Dad, look at me!
Hey!
Unboxing Muffin. In this minisode, we discover a new activity that none of us knew Muffin had, being a YouTuber. Bluey's older cousin has a channel called Muffin's Toys, where she shows herself unboxing her toys for her followers. At the beginning of the video, we see Muffin pause the video because she needs to go to the bathroom. Then we finally see Muffin showing the toy she will feature in this video. The twist is that Muffin receives a toy she didn't want, a dump truck, but she says she really wanted Cat Squad Island. But Stripe explains that this was the toy the store sent this time, so she starts being her usual Muffin self, trying to open the toy but failing, then throwing it against the table. Then Stripe starts doing the same, so we see where she gets it from. They finally manage to get the toy out of the box and remove the seal, but when Muffin tries to make it work, nothing happens because the toy has no batteries. And when they put the batteries in, the toy starts working. Stripe gives Muffin some jelly beans to put in the truck's bed, but she just eats the jelly beans instead. In the end, Muffin says she hates the toy, and when Socks asks if she can play with it, Muffin grabs the toy and says it's hers and no one else's. Classic Muffin, and that's how the video ends. It was definitely surprising to find out that Bluey's cousin is a YouTuber.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything.
Do you remember the scenes where Bandit said he liked to draw? Well, it seems he hasn't gotten much better over the years. In the Minod Letter, we see Nana finding a letter he wrote back then, showing that the girl's dad wrote a letter when he was 5 years old, telling all about himself. Right away, we see the drawing he made of himself, and Nana notices he spelled his last name wrong, writing Heller instead of Healer. And that was just the first of many mistakes in the letter, because when he was 5 years old, the girl's dad wasn't good at writing correctly yet. He mentions having 2 brothers, a skateboard and a parrot. He also says his dad is nice, but he used to yell at Radley when he played football. At the end, we find out that Bandit hates his mom's lasagna and says it tastes like hot vomit. The girls and Nana finish reading the letter from when their dad was just 5 years old. Then he arrives to pick them up, and Nana mischievously asks if he wants to stay for dinner since she's making lasagna, and he replies with a sad face that of course he does. It's clear that he still doesn't like Nana's lasagna, but he loves her and accepts it anyway. I really like this minisode because it shows a bit more about the Healer family's past, including Grandpa Bob and Bandit's childhood pet.
You know what I call this? I call it a good start. How do I jinx it so none of you can talk?
This minisode is great because it shows some of the games Bandit plays that Chili hates because she finds them gross. The girl's dad comes into the room and says he's starving, and since it would take too long to drive out and buy something, he decides to pretend to eat one of the kids, choosing Bluey, who is nearby. He pretends to season Bluey with salt and spices and then pretends to swallow the little blue dog. The problem is that kids give Bandit indigestion, so he starts feeling sick and ends up pretending to vomit Bluey right up on top of Bingo, who just arrived. All in good fun, of course. The problem is that he gets hungry again after vomiting up the blue dog, so he sniffs his vomit and starts pretending to eat Bluey again. This makes Chili completely disgusted, just thinking about him eating his own vomit.
Okay, let's go back to having fun.
That was fun. Yeah!
And that's how the episode ends, with the game starting all over again. I loved this minisode. If you love Bluey as much as we do, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next videos.
Thank you.
The minisode Three Little Piggies begins with Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo lying on Bluey's bed. The girls ask him to tell a story, so he starts narrating the story of the three little piggies, Jingo, Bluey, and Jimmy. But Jimmy is busy working, so she doesn't participate much in the story. Then Bandit tells one of the craziest stories you can imagine. There's a big bad wolf who wants to eat the piggies and tells them they have an energy problem. But just when Jingo is about to leave, she remembers her energy is solar. So the wolf huffs and puffs and blows their house down. But then he gets arrested. And in the meantime, the piggies rebuild their house with bricks and concrete. The wolf gets out of jail on the condition that he apologizes to the piggies, and when he does, they forgive him and invite him to swim in their lemonade pool, but they find out he always pees in the pool. So he gets embarrassed, leaves, and becomes a successful tennis player. Did you get any of that? Yeah, me neither. But that was the point of the episode, which turned out to be very funny, so much so that the girls asked their dad to tell the story again. The last minisode in this first batch of short episodes is called Animals, and there's a good reason for that, as you'll see. We see Chili and Bingo at a park, where the youngest Healer is lying on her mom's lap while she's sitting on a bench. Mama Healer then starts telling a story, using Bingo's back as the stage for everything that's happening. Throughout the story, various animals appear, such as antelopes, cheetahs, ants, an elephant, a spider, and even a snake and a frog. At the end of the story, a beautiful kitten appears to sleep in her little bed, and everything becomes very calm, at least until a dinosaur shows up, giving Bingo a huge scare. And that's how the story ends, with the game continuing between mother and daughter.
Get back in the house, you two. Sorry, Lucky Stan.
No worries, Bluey.
This was just the first batch of 6 out of the 20 Bluey minisodes that will be released by the end of August. While waiting for the next ones, check out these awesome videos appearing on your screen now. See you in the next video, alright? Bye for now.